Welcome to Cribl University Criblet on how to connect Cribl Search to Cribl Edge. In this module, we will discuss how to search the logs on a Cribl Edge machine. So let's discuss what we can do when using Edge and Search together. First, Edge provides access to application files that can be used for real-time troubleshooting. These logs can be very important when trying to figure out what is causing a particular issue. By using Cribl Search, you now have the ability to query those files and find the issue. Search can also augment real-time data queries with data stores from observability lakes. And finally, searching in place. This means that data can be searched at the edge without having to ingest the data. This allows you to see what is on the machine before bringing in the data. And so how does this data look? As shown here, the data is parsed, depending on the format of the data, into individual events. The fields are also automatically extracted, if available. Now that you have the data in Search, you can manipulate it by creating dashboards to better visualize your data. Now let's take a step-by-step look at how you connect Cribl Search with Cribl Edge. The first step is to create a dataset provider in Cribl Search. But because Cribl provides a tight integration between its products, this dataset provider is already created for you. This connection allows for Cribl Search to search for data at the edge. Now we are ready to create some datasets. Cribl Search comes with some datasets out of the box for you to use, but what if you want to search other data, or are collecting data that is not out of the box? No problem. This is where creating a dataset comes into play. The dataset allows you to use filters to filter the data you want to receive from the edge. In order to create a new dataset, click on the Add Dataset button while in the Dataset screen. Once the Create Dataset modal is displayed, you will need to provide the following information. ID is the name that identifies the connection. In this case, we will want to provide an ID that allows you to easily know what edge node this connection is for. The description field is also very helpful in describing the edge node. Dataset provider. Choose the recently created dataset provider. The Fleets to Query field limits your search by fleet. This could reduce search time and conserve resources. The path field allows you to put in the directory where the data will be collected. In this example, we want to search the /var/log/nginx path, as site reliability engineers may want a fast search of just nginx data. And finally, the path filter allows you to use JavaScript filter expression to be evaluated against the path. Clicking on the Processing tab in the Create New Dataset form will allow you to further refine the dataset. We will skip the ID and description since we have seen those in the previous slides. So let's start with data types. Data types tell Cribl Search which rules to use when delimiting data read from files. In this example, we expect this data to be stored as Apache-style formatting, so that data type would be the first rule that we would want to be used when evaluating a file. If the files were less structured, however, you may need to choose a few evaluate rules to find the best fit. If you want to create new data types or modify the existing ones, you will need to go to the Settings page and select Data Types. The system default rule will be used if the data being read does not match any data type's conditions. This makes it easy to quickly understand how the data will be processed if it does not match a data type. Adding a data type rule set will allow you to add additional data types. You might wonder why you would want to add additional data types. Well, a great example is if your edge node is processing more than one file type. It could be looking in a log folder with a variety of different data. So this will allow you to process all those data types. And finally, the event breaker buffer. This is the max amount of time the event breaker will wait for new data. Now that we have our dataset provider and our dataset configured, let's take a look at how to test our new connection. Let's test to make sure we are able to see any data from our edge node. First, you will want to navigate to your newly created dataset. Under Actions, you will see the button to search the data. By clicking on Search, it will bring up the search string to search the dataset. If everything is correct, you should see data coming in. That wraps this how-to Criblet. Thank you for watching. Make sure to take a look at the other Criblets we have available within Cribl University. We appreciate you joining us. And as always, have a good one.